Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today for our Super Bowl class. I hope everyone is excited and ready to try something a little bit different than the average Super Bowl. Now, do I go to Super Bowl parties? No. I guess I don't really watch football, but I do prepare food for Super Bowl a lot of times. So we're going to do some different dips and a few different chips that are a little very different than our average crack a bag of chips. So we're going to do that. Just trying to decide where we're going to start at today. What I think I'm going to start though is with our LA Asian chicken dip. So what I tried to do is try to incorporate the two teams in a sense. So I'm going to be jumping back and forth through recipes because the way I cook in my head, I didn't really prep a whole lot as far as cook ahead. So that way everything is really happening as you guys are seeing this. Okay, so I'm going to be skipping between the recipes. And what I'm going to start with first, I'm just going to get this warmed up some, is with the sauce for this dip. That way it can have some time to cool. Okay, so this is on. One thing that I noticed that I forgot, just a second here, that I failed to put on there was ginger. And I believe ginger is imperative to this, okay? So in this, we're gonna just make a bit of a little sauce here. I'm gonna add some garlic to it and some water and let that come together. So I have some soy sauce, I have my brown sugar, the vinegar, sesame oil, got that all working here, okay? And we're gonna make that bit of sauce first. Again, that way it can be cooling and I can add it to our veg and have that soaking up, okay? So I'm gonna start with just a little bit of garlic here. And like I said, I did not put garlic and ginger on the recipe you guys have. So that's about less than a clove of garlic. And I literally have a little piece of ginger and I'm gonna use about half of that that I'll just chop up and put in there. Ginger and a little garlic into that, okay? And if you don't like ginger and garlic, then don't, but I feel like it's imperative to this. So there's so much food in LA. I just went with the Asian theme. I thought it was something different than your average wing dip that usually happens. So I'm gonna just cut this on the bias and get this ready too. Set that to the side. That's gonna be my garnish. Okay, so in here, I'm going to add, I just have that little ginger and garlic, and I'm going to add some soy sauce. Okay, not all the soy sauce. Brown sugar. Oh, where did that go there? My pan is beeping. Brown sugar. Red pepper flakes. Now, I have a little bit of red pepper flakes. If you like a little spice in your life, you add your spice. A little bit of sesame oil. And the vinegar here. I'm going to add a little bit of water, just a smidge of water to that, and I'll let that cook up. Then we're going to thicken it with the cornstarch here and set it aside. Okay, that will be that for that. Any questions? Okay, I'm going to jump around. I do have my cabbage and my carrots for it. But again, I want this to cook. I want it to cool a little bit before I add it to my ingredients. And then we'll just set it to the side. And that'll be a dip that you can make in advance and pull it out and it'd be ready to go. Okay. With that cook, I got to watch that thing because this burns a little fast. It can get away from me. Okay.
Because of all the sugar is in there.
The sugar is in there, and then this induction burner, it's at 600, so it gets up there. But yes, definitely that sugar burns. That sugar burns. Okay, yeah, it's gonna reduce down, and I have some cornstarch here that I'm gonna add a little water into, and make a bit of a little slurry here, and that's gonna make this sauce a little thick. Slurry is really big in Asian cuisines. It gives it that gloss and that bit of thickness that we need. So this is going to be our, do you guys smell it? I mean,
I can smell it.
I know you folks at home don't smell it, but the ones in here, you can smell that sauce there. Okay. Boil one more time. Then I'm going to pull it off, set it to the side, let it cool, and then we'll add it to our chicken and stuff. So we're going to come back to cooling. While our sauce is cooling, we're going to roll into the Cincinnati chili dip. So I've seen it for years. I used to watch Food Network a lot back in my younger day. But not anymore. But I've always seen the Cincinnati chili, so I'm going to make it into a dip, and we're going to make this ahead of time. That way it can just be simmering. If you have a crock pot, you can do a little crock pot style thing and have that simmering. To me, the flavors just marry better when it's had time to really cook. So we're going to get that Cincinnati chili cooking. And instead of, it's usually served on a hot dog, of course, or over spaghetti noodles. So we're going to do something a little different with it, and we're going to make some pasta chips to go with that. That way it can be sort of dippable or scoopable. So we'll do pasta chips with the Cincinnati chili dip. We're also going to do the football cheese ball, and that is going to just be a cheese ball shaped into a football, and we'll coat that with some pecans. But let's get this started here. Okay. Okay, this is going to call for some onions and garlic too. So I'm going to get my onion chopped up here. I think this side is better. So quick rough chop, and we're going to saute this and let that cook down some. It doesn't feel empty in the pan, so it turns off. Okay. So onions in the pan there. We're going to add some ground beef to that and let that cook. Let that simmer up a little bit. This dip is going to be new for us all. Try. Temperature going up. Then we're going to, once the onions saute a little bit, we'll add the garlic. The garlic cooks a little faster than onions, so you want your onions to cook a little bit before you're adding that garlic. And then we'll add on their tomato base. Now, some recipes that I saw, they had their own chili seasonings that they put together to make this. I've made it easy, and I just got us a chili seasoning packet. Your favorite packet for that. Just let those onions sweat a little bit before we add that garlic, and then we'll add the ground beef in there and let that cook up together. So we'll get that started, and it can be simmering while we move on to the dip. Okay. To the football, I'm sorry, the football, not necessarily the dip, the football. Garlic. I have a lot of garlic in my cup. I'm not using all of that garlic, because when I was putting together my kits, I was putting together. That was I could put on here. I thought now 2 cloves. Yeah, 2 cloves of garlic. I'm gonna add my ground beef to that. Get that browning. Oh, here, Chef has salt here, so some seasoning. I always like to still add a little bit of seasoning to it. It's completely up to you. If you have a chili seasoning that you know doesn't need any extra salt, by all means, don't add any necessarily in the pot. Let's see. Okay, a little bit. We'll do that a little bit. Turn the heat up a little bit, let that cook, and gather the rest of my ingredients for this one. Something that was really different that I noticed in this was cocoa and cinnamon. I'm gonna add it and see how it goes with a little bit of vinegar. So that was something different that I saw for chili, but I guess that's that Cincinnati thing, huh? Then we'll add our other spices. Now, I did get some kidney beans because there's what I think 4 or 5 different ways you can have Cincinnati chili. It's like the 1, 2-way, 3-way, 4-way kind of deal. We add either onions on top, kidney beans on it. So I did get some kidney beans. I'm a chili person that likes my beans in my chili, but it's not my show. I mean, I guess it is my show, but it's Cincinnati's chili. Let's say that. It's Cincinnati's chili. And then once I get everything added to that, we'll just let that simmer. And I think we'll go into the, actually we'll go back to we won't get too far, and we'll go back to the LA chicken dip. That way we can, that sauce is here still. Oh, it smells really, really good. While that's cooking, because I can multitask, I'm going to get the rest of my ingredients here. I got some cooked chicken. Now, if you want to grill your chicken, or if you want to have, if you like your chicken a certain way, or you have some, what is that, rotisserie chicken that you want to use, you can do that. So I just have some diced pre-cut chicken already here. Okay. Put that there. And then we have the cabbage, right? The chicken, carrots, and cabbage is what I'm adding here. Okay. I just got the shredded carrots. You want to shred your own carrots, you can. I don't know if anyone's ever shredded their own carrots, which is an easy task, but your hands get orange. The dye pulls off and your hands get orange. So that. Okay. Then I'm going to toss this a little. So I got my carrots in here, my chicken in here, my cabbage in here. If you want your chicken to be finer or you want it more shred, you can always do that too. Okay. And I'm going to take this, pour it on, and it's a little sauce, but it's so pungent, or it packs a punch. So I'm going to say pungent in a bad way. It packs a punch. So a little goes a long way with this. Okay. Toss the cabbage, the chicken, and the carrots here. And then we're going to mix that. We're going to put this over some seasoned. You can have this part done 2 days in advance. That way it can really marinate. Wrap it with some saran wrap, and you're good to go. I do have some green onions too. Usually I just garnish, but I'll put a little in there too. Okay, then I'm going to just throw this below. Going back, okay, going back on to the chili here. I'm going to add in my cocoa powder and cinnamon. Oh, spilled. That was my vinegar, but that's okay. I still have a little here. Still have a little. And oh yes, there are. There are towels. No, it's okay. I had plenty of vinegar in it. I just, so that's cooking there. And I'm going to open up the tomato sauce and the chili seasonings. and put that in here, okay? So this is just a generic, well, I guess it's not really generic, but it's just a chili seasoning packet. You can drain the grease off if you have a cheaper ground beef that has a lot of fat in it. Do go ahead and drain that off. That's what our chili is looking like already.
What's the ratio of beef you used today?
I used 2 pounds. I did use 2 pounds. So the chub that I brought over is 3 pounds. Oh, it's 80-20. I'm sorry. It's 80-20. 80-20. So there is still some fat in there, but not that 73-27. And then I have a little tomato sauce that I'm going to turn my temperature down. Add some water into this, and we're gonna let that really simmer. Measure my water in this. I know this is 4 ounces. So water calls for 1 cup. So 2 of these would be 1 cup. Because they're 4 ounces, that's 8 ounces. Cincinnati chili.
Smells good.
Does it? Okay,
Yes.
good. Cincinnati chili. Going forward. So we're going to let that just simmer and become great. And then I'll taste it again and adjust the seasoning if need be. Okay. Yeah, now he's looking like it's popping all over the place. Hold on. Okay. Great. So we got that cooking. Stuff everywhere. Excuse me for going back and forth with the recipes. Just you got 7 of them. So if I did one at a time, it wouldn't really work that way. Not with me cooking, really cooking.
Be here all day.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just back and forth. Bear with me, guys. We're gonna go to the football cheese ball. Easy peasy. Let's save this one. I'll go with this bowl here. And I have some softened cream cheese. Sorry, I keep looking to the side. I have my prep over here, and it's a lot of stuff. Okay, so I've got some softened cream cheese from my last class. I'm sure you guys all remember how I feel about softened cream cheese. If it calls for softened cream cheese, let it be soft. Give it that. It's only going to be better for you in the long run. Okay. So I got a pound of cream cheese here. Okay, so I got our softened cream cheese here, and I've got my bacon bits here. I've got some cranberries. Now this is, you don't have to use the dried cranberries, and I think I'm actually going to chop these a little bit. I do like that little burst of sweetness. And then I'm going to chop up some more green onions because I'm going to need some green onions for this one too. Okay. And you can make this as big or as small. This is not going to be very big. Of a cream cheese football, but like I said, you can make it as big or as small as you like. Get off of this one. So these can be. One year I did a cream cheese Christmas tree, and it had all these bells and whistles on it. So these things are really endless at what you can do with cream cheese. So I'm going to cut up, let's give these cranberries a little bit of a chop. Like I said, you can omit them. You can leave them whole. I'm just going to rough chop them a little bit. And gonna use these green onions because I can cut up more green onions for our garnish. Bacon bits. Now you can get down and dirty and use your hands. I don't work like that. No, just kidding. I I would prefer not to have to get it all in my gloves. I'm missing my pecans and my seasoning, which I'm not missing. I just haven't put it in there yet. So I just have a little bit of the ranch seasoning packet. It calls for a tablespoon. And so this cup that I have here is actually too much. It's 1.5, so I'm going to add that to that. Okay. It just gives a little flavor to the cream cheese. Cream cheese already has its own, but it's a little extra added bonus. And then I have some toasted pecans that I'll add to it. And then I'm also saving some of the pecans for us to roll it in, okay? I'm gonna just keep stirring this too. Alrighty.
It's that multitasking.
Yes, yes, yes. At home, it's like, yeah, I'll have stuff everywhere. But in an organized way. It's not just everywhere. So here's my cream cheese, my nuts, my craisins, onions, and seasoning, okay? And you do want that cream cheese to be softened because it just makes your life a little easier. Now I'm starting to feel like I didn't soften my cream cheese long enough, but I'm here, so I gotta keep going. That's where we're getting at. So this will be all incorporated. Once it's incorporated, I'll show you how to roll it. There. Oh, my arms just aren't what they used to. Something with that cranberry and the toasted almond. I know we just have the holidays, but it's still good to have anytime. It does take muscle work. Now, like I said, I don't think my cream cheese was as soft as I wanted it to be. I took it out like at 5 or so.
For those of us that like our small little businesses, we could also use them.
Oh, absolutely. You can. I still chop by hand. I still mix by hand a little bit old school on the way. But yes, you absolutely can. You can put this all in a food processor and it come together. But it does eventually come together into what you need it to become. Okay. So I'm gonna get some saran wrap out and then we'll just form this into a football. I don't know how to, I mean, I can form it into a football. There we go. I draw a football? No. No. So here we have that, okay? Give my chili another little mix. That smells good. So, is that there? Does it look like anybody from Cincinnati out there? Anybody out there from Cincinnati that wants to judge this California/Memphis girls Cincinnati chili?
Anybody offer you?
No, okay. That's all right. Pull off some saran wrap. I'm gonna lay the saran wrap into like a T shape cross. That way I have all my edges covered. recipe back a little bit. So I have my saran wrap down. Take ball here. Then there's some here stuck in there, and I'm gonna just scoop it out with my. Okay. And the way you're gonna form this to get your, you're gonna push it, get that football shape. So, and then as I'm pushing it too, there's like a little air gap right here. I don't know if you guys can see that at home. The saran wrap is so forgiving. Saran wrap is so
While you
forgiving.
do this,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just gonna push this underneath it because it's so white.
Oh,
They
okay.
can't see it at all.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Sorry. Okay.
All right.
Go. So, you guys can see that better.
I can't see it.
So here is the shape we're getting. Okay. So I'm gonna roll it. And then I'm gonna give it that oval football shape in the plastic. Now, it's gonna look much like a football. We're gonna rewrap this shape. I don't like the shape I'm getting. But like I said, the saran wrap is forgiving. So push it down. I want it to be a little bit wider in the center as a football usually is. And then we're going to toss it, roll this around into pecan so it gives it a more of a brownish color, more of that football shape there. And I don't care what anybody says, this is a football to me. Let's see. This is looking like a football. Got it sort of big in the middle, a little pointy on the ends. But once we roll it, so this is your dip instead of your average cheese ball. Forget what I'm doing over here too. Then we'll roll that and make it, put some, what are those?
The laces.
Boom, the laces on the guys. And have our football, okay? So that's gonna go in with our chicken salad, and that's gonna work together, and we'll come back to that, okay? So, oh, sure. So far, we've got our cheese ball, just waiting for its finishing touches. We've got our Cincinnati chili over here, coming together. Looking like it's going to be just fine.
Smelling delicious.
There we go. And we got our fryer on already. We've got our LA chicken dip that we've already really touched on. And it's just the cream cheese that I'll do that towards the end when we get ready to plate it. And I think we're actually going to move on to our sliders now. And I'm leaving the chips for last because the chips are so simple. And I've done some legwork on it, so they're going to be really easy. So we're going to start then the French onion cheeseburger slider is going to be really, really simple. So we're going to start with that. Like I said, I do have my chili over here, but that's all right because I'm going to just slide it over some. And then we're going to, where is the other burner? Here it is. Let me grab a burner. And we're going to do some caramelized onions, okay? So our caramelized onions for this, it calls for 2 large onions, and I thought about it. That's a lot of onion. But if you want to go heavy on that onion, stick with the 2 onions. I'm going to do the, I have 1.5 onions for that. Okay. Actually, I have 1 onion for that. So I'm going to save that one. just slice these up really thin. Last little one is always tricky. There we go. Okay, fire's on. We're gonna throw our onions in here. Okay. Let that cook a little bit. A saute pan. This will work just fine. Onions. I'm gonna let that cook. It's gonna take a while for caramelizing to take place, so just let it do its thing. Once it does come to the caramelizing stage that we want it to, we're gonna add in some sherry vinegar to it. And it says on there sherry wine, and it's a sherry wine. It's a vinegar though, so it's gonna give it a nice little flavor. 10,000 things on the cart. Bear with me. Oh, I see it. Just letting those onions cook. You'll get some color in there. Usually with caramelized onions, you don't really add anything to it, no oil to it. You can add a little water to it that helps cook the onion. So we might add a little water to it, but usually you don't want to add too much to caramelized onion. Caramelized onion comes together on its own, but by itself, just with all the sugars in the onion itself. I love onions. As a kid, my grandpa, he used to, bless his heart, he passed away a couple months ago, but I lived with him and he used to just ask for an onion and a tomato. And he literally would eat the onion like an apple. Ooh, ow. Now, I love onions, but I'm not just gonna eat an onion by itself. Can't. Okay, I think I'm gonna add a little bit of water, I was saying. Ooh, you hear that? The onions are cooking there. And while that is cooking, I'm actually going to pull my chili off. He is simmering. I haven't tasted it. I don't have any taster spoons. Do we have taster spoons? Okay, I won't be afraid to taste my own food. It's different. Definitely different. Gosh. And I'm glad I tasted it because I do want to add a little more seasoning to it. I'm just add a little more seasoning than I like. But I'm gonna say it's done. And again, we're not gonna add the beans to it because Cincinnati chili doesn't really have the beans in it. It's just depends on if you want it the 4-way or the 3-way with beans or something like that. Our onions are not quite where I want them at yet, but they're getting there. You see that color starting to form in there. So, okay, so I'm gonna pull this off. I'm gonna set it here. You can always put it back on the heat. Like I said, it's something that can be made in a crock pot, so it can just be warming, okay? In this one, I'm gonna get our ground beef cooking for our sliders. Now with our sliders, these recipes, you do throw them in the oven. So someone will run and toss these in the oven while I tie up loose ends, and then we'll show you that in product when we get to that point, okay? So right here, I'm gonna get ready to cook some ground beef. More.
question.
Yes.
The cheeseburger slider recipe says use Duke's mayonnaise, preferably. Does Duke's have better consistency or taste?
I think maybe last year, the grocery stores out here in Arizona started to carry Duke's mayo. I prefer Duke's mayo. It's really good. I think Jimmy John's, one of these sandwich places, uses their mayo on their sandwiches, and you definitely tell the difference if you try their mayo. So that's why I say that. Am I using Duke's today? No. I sent someone to the store yesterday. She knew what I was talking about, so I couldn't be picky since I wasn't the one going to the store. So I did just add a little seasoning in there. Go back to the onions. See, it's a dry pan on the bottom there. Onions are starting to get nice and cooked and caramelized. Not quite there yet. I do need to throw in a little packet though. Go over myself with so much stuff. With the, I'm going to add the vinegar into the onions here. That do its thing in there. Cooking pork slider. There was some football game a couple weeks ago, and I went over to a family member's house, and she was saying she was making sliders. So I was like, oh, nice. And she's making cheeseburger sliders. And I was like, oh, okay, nice too. But I didn't anticipate on her making it this way, so I did trying something that she did, and I thought it worked. The ground beef is just cooked up like normal instead of forming patties and making these individual little guys. Just make them together in a pan. Brown this ground beef up. And then we're going to add the a French onion seasoning packet. It's up to you. I did put a little seasoning in here, but I tell you, I adjust my seasonings all the time. And we're going to add a little more water to the onion. Right, look at those onions. Don't they look nice? And if you're an onion person, I'm an onion person. I'm quite an onion person. Like my grandpa was an onion person, but I ground beef is almost there. Then we're gonna assemble the sliders. Once you're on the assembling end, we're like almost there. We're almost there. Is there any way I can get a bread knife? Go into the bakery, those ladies, they'll know where a bread knife is, or chef, a bread knife, so I can cut the sliders open for us. There's slider buns that come pre-cut already. Pepperidge Farm makes a really good one too, but they're pricey. Really, just get some dinner rolls and make them slider buns, you know. Almost done here with this ground beef. Actually, at this point, I think I'm going to go ahead and add my other seasoning. Onions. I'm going to pull these onions off. Look at them. Can you guys see them okay? I'm going to pull these onions, turn this heat off on the onion. And then I'm going to add my French onion packet to this here. It's got its dried onions in it too. So heavy on that. I'm saving the easy stuff for last. These sliders are easy peasy. I'm also going to do a club slider. If anybody's been to Rave's Cafe and got our club sandwich, something similar to that. Oh, a little ground beef on
the turf.
yeah, right, on the turf. Coaches are getting pissed. All right. That finished cooking. Like I said, I got my onions are done. Smell great. I just put them in a smaller bowl. Yeah. This, they have a little zip from that vinegar in there, but with the cheese and the bread and the butter. Okay, put our onions here. Ground beef. Actually, I think I'm gonna pull this, put it in here, and then put my chili back. Yeah, so it is hot. On here warm. Okay. So now this ground beef, it is the 80-20, so it does. I'm not gonna pour this over my buns. It should be drained. I don't have a strainer to strain it, but I'm gonna just pull it out of it versus letting that grease. It's okay. I'm gonna taste my ground beef because I want to make sure it's seasoned. When one thing is seasoned and the other's not, it can pull away from other things. So just want to make sure it tastes good, okay? Okay, if we're in the draining mood. Really, we can just pick it up out of here and let it. That way. No. I'm gonna add a little more. I'm gonna add all this seasoning to it. And that's just a little salt, pepper, house seasoning that we have in the cafe that I added to it. Okay. Turn that ground beef down. Chili is still doing his thing. Grease is on for the chips because we're almost to that. Okay. So we're going to use some brioche buns here, brioche slider buns. The store runner got real fancy and brought us these buns. I'm going to butter this pan here. If you have pan spray, I'm going to brush the bottom, and then I'm going to use some butter to, when I brought the butter over, it was melted. Did you not? It was melted. That's okay. It brushes just fine. So I'm going to brush, if you use a round, I think the recipe called for an 8-inch square. Yeah, we have these in house, so they work. So brush the inside. That's just so everything comes out nice and toasted and flavor all around. And these buns, looks like they are already cut. They need a little knife. They need a little knife work. So there is in a 6-pack. I'm gonna just bottom there, the top here. Keep that side there. Like I said, some buns are already cut. These ones are not. I almost thought they were. Okay, look at that there. Now, for this assembling here, let's see how I said to do this. I did that. We're going to put some we put the buns on there. We're going to do the ground beef, the onions. Well, I didn't put the cheese on there, but we're going to put some cheese on here. So I'm going to use this because I don't want to get all this grease onto too much of it. We're going to use some of it, but I don't want to get it all in there. But when she made these sliders, I thought, That's so lazy. To be honest, I mean, I was, but when I tried it, I was like, oh my gosh, it is so good. So, hey, it's almost like that Roseanne loose meat sandwich that she had. I always wanted to go to Roseanne's restaurant on TV. Because my buns are a little lopsided, I got meat rolling off, but it's just fine. Because when we put the onion and the cheese on there, it marries together really nicely. I'm trying not to get too much grease, so if you see any meat left in my pan, it was just because I didn't want to get too much grease. Sliders being tedious is no longer thank you. Okay, so we have the bottom bun, the seasoned ground beef. Look at that. We're going to take our onions here. Just use your hands, sprinkle it more. If you want to go light, you can go light, but we have them. Why not use them? You guys see the steam coming off of it? Because it's really hot. Yeah, it's hot. Okay, so see that so far?
It's like my kind of sandwich over there.
Yeah, there we go. And I'm gonna add some cheese on there. Now you can put mayo on here too, but because this is not one of those kind of sliders, on our next one I'll put honey mustard and mayo on it. But you know, some people don't like mayonnaise. I like it. It really adds that little touch I need sometimes. So I have some shredded Swiss for this. I figured it goes with the French onion. Swiss and Gruyere, usually for French onion soup, it's Gruyere and French and Swiss are cousins. So just had Swiss shredded already. Doesn't like Swiss on a burger with a lot of onions. Needs a little bacon, but we're not going to go that far. All this cheese. And the cheese starts that comes out of the pan like crisp. It turns into like a little crisp, so it's really yummy. This side went on this side. This side went on this side. So this is our sliders here. This guy. Slide it with some butter. I don't think it needs any extra seasoning on it. For the club one, it calls for some extra seasoning that I looked high and low in my kitchen and could not find. So we're gonna act like we have it. Okay. Right, look at that. That's just butter that's going onto the bun, and it's gonna crisp it up nicely and add that nice color. With a brush, it's like my hair in the morning time. Okay, so we're gonna just set this to the side. We're gonna pop that in the oven in a minute, and then we're gonna transfer over to our hot club slider. Okay, while I still mix this up. This out the way because I think it's done. Okay, so let's transfer over to our hot club slider, which is really easy. I'm gonna get a pan together. For our hot club, which again, I'm going to just take the butter that I put right here and brush the pan. If you have a just a nonstick spray, you can use that too. If you just want to line it with foil, you can do that as well. Okay, and this is something that can be done in advance. And then, you know, an hour before the game, pull your stuff out the fridge or in the oven. People are gonna just like, oh, you worked all day. Look at you. Like, actually, no, I was upstairs doing my nails and my makeup. He was already prepped. Do your prep ahead of time. Put these buns again. push buns. On bottom there. Like I said, this one will get some sauce, both mayo and honey mustard. They just go together nicely.
That's all fun.
Depending on what kind of slider you're making, because a pretzel bun too sometimes can have too much flavor. So it depends on what you're having. You know, if it's just a simple sandwich, to go for it. Okay, this one mustard. Well, this one really calls for mustard. The other one was supposed to be made. Okay. This was just a store brand honey mustard. I'm gonna just squeeze a little on the bottom, and then we're gonna put some more on the top too. The mayo was supposed to go on the burger. Okay. So I got some packs of turkey and I got some packs of ham. You can use whatever kind that you want from the your deli. I just picked and choose. Chef Keith had some chopped up or sliced up. Lance had some sliced up. I just took a little bit of everybody's. And it's gonna be just fine. So I got some ham. You can do it in whichever way you want, whether you want to put the turkey first or not. But just start with the ham. That's what I opened up first. This is not any kind of fancy flavored ham. If you do, like I said, if you have a particular flavor that you like, go for it. Ham on there. Turkey time. I'm gonna put this little bit of turkey in the fridge. Okay. Some turkey. Here. We portion everything in the kitchen, so that's why they're in packets like this. Everything is portioned. So, turkey. Pull this closer. Boom, boom. And I got some bacon somewhere down here. It's on this side. Some more meat over here. Strips of bacon in here. You can break the bacon in half, but I guess I'll break it. These sliders are usually meant to be cut anyways because it's a slider the way that it's like a casserole. So I will break the bacon up. Okay. Do some more of this mustard on there, and then the cheeses, and then I got both Swiss and cheddar. I feel both of them need the proper glory, I guess you could say. They're both great cheeses, so I like to use them. Quite cheesy. Swiss and cheddar. I should do 2 slices of each. There we go. And then this is going to go in the oven just like the other, and then I'm going to just put it all together. Those chips are going to be done in a flash, and you guys will. So boom, boom. Again, everything seasoning, your butter and your everything seasoning, and in the oven you go. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Voila. Sliders there, ready to go. So I'm gonna finish up the chicken here real quick, the Chinese chicken dip. And this is just some, again, cream cheese that I'm gonna pour a little soy sauce with, season it up, and we're gonna smear it here on the plate. And just mix a little soy sauce in here. So I'm gonna start assembling this here. And again, this is just the cream cheese, a little bit of soy sauce. And if it was melted or softened like I need it to be, it would be easier to mix up. Right. Soy sauce and cream cheese, like what? So this is the base of the chicken dip. And I thought about putting it on a white plate, and then I pulled this one, and now I'm thinking I should go back on a white plate since this has a little color on it. Yep. Cream cheese again, just cream cheese and put it onto here. Smear it how you like. No, it doesn't look like much, but it has flavor. I did get a fresh jalapeno too because, again, if you like spice, you can add it on there. It's not on the recipe at all, but it can be added both on top of your chili or on top of this here. Okay, so here we have our chicken and our marinade together. If you have slice, if you like the toasted peanuts, a lot of peanuts are with Asian cuisines. You can do the peanuts on there too, or toasted almonds. LA chicken. And I'll do the chips for it. So I've got some toasted pecans here that I did earlier and chopped them up, and I'm just gonna take my football and roll it in there. Okay. Oh, I'm supposed to save a piece of Swiss cheese. Darn it. Because it was going to act as my laces. Look at that football. More and more like a football every time you guys look at it. Push that in a little bit. Just form it. Form that football. You can see it? Is everyone seeing it? That out the way. Then our football will be together here in just a hot second. We get more gloves on. I'm going to start frying chips while we wait for that extra piece of cheese here. And I'm going to come out of the fryer right onto a towel right here. Okay, so we got 3 different chips that we're working. The one chip that I won't be able to show you, I can show you how it's assembled because I'm just remembering that she took everything to the oven already, is the pickle chip. But that's okay. It's easy enough. Literally, all I did, I have some here. All I did, take pickle chips. I drained off pickle chips and put them into cupcake tins with cheddar cheese and bake them in the oven. Okay, so that's all. Oh, I can't grab that.
No, I know.
Sit it down.
I'm showing it to you real quick.
Oh, thank you. Is she handing it to me?
Nope,
I don't have those
It's hot.
bionic hands.
but I do have this history.
Thank you, madam. Okay. So here we have our pickle chips. We're running out of time, but it's literally pickle and cheddar cheese.
Those aren't too fried.
These are not deep fried. These are put in the oven. These were keto friendly. And you could put them, if you have the right equipment for a deep air fryer, I would imagine you can air fry, but these are put in the oven. Again, it's just the pickle chips drained off. Cheese usually can turn into a crisp anyways. So that's what we have here, are the pickle chips. And that's a lot of flavor here with this. Let me finish off this football. Show you how that football comes together. I did learn how to hold a football at a young age. Dad is the biggest football fan, he loves football. And so my brother sometimes didn't play, and I had to learn how to hold the football. I'm going to cut this into strips. You're not going to need the whole thing.
So you just use like a regular jar of bread and butter pickles?
Yes, this one is just actually dill pickles, but you can use bread and butter. I prefer bread and butter pickles. I'm a bread and butter person. So I do like that flavor, but it's up to you. This is just regular dill pickles. And it's a little football with the, can I see this close? It's there. We've got the sliders going. I just want to fry up some chips real quick. Okay, we have the other sliders coming. This is the ham, or should I say the hot club slider? Oh yeah, that crusty. That's what you're looking for. You hear that? No, the bread is not dried. It's toasted. That's what you want. Okay. This Super Bowl party that I really am not having, but so I'm excited to show you these last two chips. Okay, I know pasta chips. This is cooked lasagna. I cooked this pasta yesterday, so this is something you could do in advance. You cook it. It looks wet, but it's not. That's just oil on it, and I let them dry really good. And this is going to be for our chili. Let me turn the chili off because the chili is like had it with me. So I'm going to cut these into strips. Several of them. So one box of lasagna noodles will go a long way because you are cutting them. I've seen the chips done with ziti pasta too, but I sort of like the fringe on, or the edges of the lasagna and the way it looks. It curls up a little bit, but what chip doesn't curl up? So that's going to be for that. You can, when it comes out the fryer, you're supposed to toss them with Parmesan cheese on a lot of the recipes I've seen online, but I didn't think that Parmesan cheese, the Cincinnatians, is that what they're called? Cincinnatians? Something like that. They might be mad if I did Parmesan on this with the Cincinnati chili, so we're just going to do it as is, okay? Throw some here into the fryer. Just went off and saved a lot of noise. That's going to fry up, and we're going to have our chips or our Cincinnati chili.
The fryer was set at 350.
He had it at 350. Yeah.
Okay.
Then I'm going to shake this up. One of the key things with frying is you got to shake it up a little bit once it goes in. If you put something in the fryer and you let it just fry, it's frying together. So shake it up. Let them know who's in charge of this party. Okay. And that's going to be for our chili. Now for the chili, we're going to, I won't crack open the can of beans since we're already a little pressed. But I'm going to put a little onion on there and some cheese for that, the two-way on the Cincinnati. Fry in there. Shake that up. While that's shaking still, I'm going to get our wontons. This is just a regular store-bought wonton wrappers. They make for some really good chips too. And that will go for our LA chicken dip, okay? So you can either cut it diagonal and have little diagonal chips, or you can cut them into fours. I'm gonna just cut them into thick strips and just cut it into threes. After all this prep, who really has time to be picky? Okay, now when these come out, you should sprinkle with a little salt. Pasta is almost done. I know I was really torn about doing these pasta chips, but I really wanted to do something different than the average chip that you see every day that we make at home, okay? So I'm gonna take out, I don't know if I can move it, so I'll move it out. I'm just gonna put some on the pan here on this plate. Oh, I got it. I got it. Oh, did you guys see how that came out there? All that cheese and that onion pool. So that's this one. I'm gonna pull out that hand one go. Oh, here it is. Oh, hold on, let me not forget about these. A little bit longer on these. You want these to be chips. I made them yesterday and I pulled them out prematurely and they just needed a little more time. Different sliders here. Our game day sliders. So everything that I seen the Cincinnati chili on just had like a pile high of cheese. So we're gonna put that there. I got the fresh onion. I think we're calling this one a two-way. Like I said, I do have the kidney beans, but we're not gonna put it on there. We're not gonna go that far. But we're gonna do the cheddar cheese on here. And it be our Cincinnati. I might be disappointing them with the amount of cheese that I'm putting on. This might not be enough for them. Is that enough, guys? Okay, I got my chips here. Oh, one behind. Throw my wontons in the fryer too. That way everything is ready, okay? These are our pasta chips. With our Cincinnati chili. Can you see, everybody see that okay? Okay, oh, perfect, that's good.
Yeah, you can see the little rippled edges.
Yes, from that lasagna there. And I'm gonna just finish up these wonton chips for our LA dip. You guys will be all set. Okay. Now, do they have a cleaning crew coming in to clean this up or what?
That would be us.
Oh, are you guys?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
That would be us.
Oh, that's so great.
As long as we get to try some of this.
Absolutely. I want to see this stuff. No. No, I still got some more desserts to get ready to go out. I was in there, we're making truffles for the Valentine's party. So we're actually, one person was rolling, one person is dipping, one person is.
Why were those on our menu today?
Which ones? The truffles?
Yeah.
Because I was specifically told dips,
Okay.
apps. So I just went with what I was.
All righty.
Okay. Can you guys see all of these okay?
Yes.
Okay. So then we have the wonton chips to go around our LA chicken dip. Okay. falling. It smells really good. All right. Game day classics, or not classics, not normal classics. How about that?
So we have a question.
Sure.
Is there a dip that you would use with the pickle chips other than the cheese?
You can do
I
just
mean,
ranch or a French onion dip or just a simple sour cream based kind of dip. When I've made them before, they were just served with ranch.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Any other questions?
Make sure I did all 7 ingredients. It looks like it. Counting the chips, so
Yeah.
do try
good.
these. Yeah. Thank you for joining me today in the Super Bowl party that I'm not really having. And I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Have fun. Don't drink too much.
Thank you, everyone.